Welcome to VI Grade's 2022 Zero Prototype Summit. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all in-person attendees, as well as all virtual attendees connected from all over the world. Thanks for joining us in our journey towards zero prototypes. Let's get started with the welcome speech by Bob Ryan, President of HBK's Virtual Test Division.
Welcome, everyone. It's a true pleasure to see so many familiar faces and old friends after such an incredible lockdown period. So welcome to the event. I want to start by saying first thank you to our many loyal customers. Many of you are here today for supporting us throughout the COVID period, making sure we had strong business. We definitely appreciate it. Secondly, I want to really call out our ever-expanding group of partners and suppliers who not only help us deliver exceptional solutions, but really sponsor this conference and make it possible. So thank you for that. And then thirdly, and not lastly, but I want to thank the incredible VI Grade team who love to excite and delight you. And they also want to make sure that this conference becomes one of the premier events of the annual automotive calendar. And you're a part of that. So thanks for being here. As you know, our objective throughout this conference is to help you achieve the Zero Prototype Challenge. And what do we mean by that? Well, what we're all trying to do is accelerate product innovation by making it much easier to try out new ideas, figure out what works, and get to virtual sign-off before we ever build a full hardware prototype. That's our challenge. And you can see the fruits of our efforts to help you with that all around you this week. Many new inventions, deliveries, solutions to help you achieve that challenge. I want to spend a little bit of time today to give you a backstory on how we've positioned our team to make sure that we can deliver these solutions to you and help you be successful, and what we've done over the last 5 years to make that happen now and in the future. So I'll be fairly brief, but 5 years ago, right after this conference, VI Grade reached out to its key customers and asked them a simple question: where are you on this journey of getting to virtual sign-off? Probably not surprising to everybody in this room, answers were very consistent. Everyone boasted of the fact that they've made enormous progress moving from a prototype-heavy test environment to an upfront CAE-driven simulation environment. Everybody was very proud of that. They saved time, cost, lowered risk. Great work, right? Also, there was a very consistent message that there were gaps between what we could do in physical prototype testing and what we were doing today in CAE simulation. And more importantly, this was something maybe wasn't expected, is that nearly everyone said that these gaps are becoming more important and more difficult due to the changing conditions of our market: ADAS, connected and autonomous vehicles, e-mobility. And so we ask, okay, what are these gaps? What are you seeing as an issue in making this journey to zero prototypes? And I would say the answers were still pretty consistent. We had people come back and said, we've moved very far along towards simulation, but we often get to the point where we're missing the user sensory experience. We might get to deliver a vehicle that we're not necessarily proud of exactly how this feels to a driver or an operator. Secondly, they say we need an environment for faster collaboration and decision making. We want to be able to try out new ideas easier than we can do by just sending it off to the simulation group. And maybe most importantly, they say the world has changed. No longer do we just have a simple simulation model or a simple physical prototype. We have everything. We have hardware, firmware, software's in the loop, drivers in the loop, everything in the loop. And we want to be able to include everything in the loop at every stage of the development process, so we need a heterogeneous platform. And that was really the impetus for VI Grade to step back and say, we're going to develop a strategy to address exactly these gaps. We're going to make it possible to actually move to a situation where you can overcome these and get to a zero prototype stage. So VI Grade set about building that story. basically closing the gap between CAE simulation and physical testing with an investment in three major areas: real-time simulation, simulators, and hardware in the loop. Why hardware in the loop? It's part of that heterogeneous platform. Those were the three things that we said we needed to invest in now to make sure that we were ready today and in the future to deliver on this zero prototype challenge. And more importantly, VI Grade realized that they needed a partner to help them achieve this. They wanted to invest heavily in this area that we called virtual test. We wanted to not only build out the technology, but deliver simulation showcases, simulation sim centers around the world to help clients realize this technology. And so we approached a company in the UK called Spectrus, which is a world leader in test and measurement. And they immediately embraced this concept. They committed to helping us build a new operating company, which at the time we called Virtual Test. Since then, we now call it HBK Virtual Test. And since then, they've committed over $250 million to this initiative. And basically, it started with an acquisition in 2018 of VI Grade, but it wasn't just to acquire the company. It was to essentially put money into the company to help us build out not only the real-time simulation software, a new line of scalable simulators, and a platform for growth. Very quickly after that, we realized that the world had changed from a time when we were testing vehicles on a single racetrack to one where we needed to test vehicles in an interconnected environment, in an urban environment. And so we reached out to a company called Right Hook in Silicon Valley, acquired that company, and they've been on a mission over the last 4 years to build out a product we call VI World Sim, a content-rich 3D environment, multi-agent traffic, pedestrians, animals, sensor fusion, all oriented toward allowing us to test in the real world the way we know we're going to have to deliver ADAS and autonomous vehicle technology. And we built that on a firm basis of Unreal Engine so that we can stand on the shoulders of about a few thousand Unreal Engine developers and deliver really a premier solution. And you'll see that throughout the conference. Thirdly, we knew from the outset that this vision was not a singular attribute vision, that we had to encompass a number of attributes to make this work seriously. And one of the first we wanted to adopt was NVH. And so we acquired the really talented NVH simulator team from Bruin Care, and that's made an enormous difference. You'll see the effect of that integration throughout our demonstrations today. And basically what they allowed us to do is deliver calibrated sound and vibration in our simulator environments. And we're in the process of making sure that this affects every part of what we do. As we integrated those first three, we also realized that we were getting very strong in software, but we needed more expertise in mechatronics and automation. And so we reached out to an old colleague of ours, Thomas Schultz, who was an original pioneer of the large simulator at Daimler-Benz. And we brought on Imtech Engineering, about 30 engineers out of Berlin, to help us really scale this business and be able to produce, deliver, install simulators of any size around the world. And he's brought that capability to us. And then more recently, in 2021, we knew that we had to deliver on this integrated HIL environment. And a key part of that is to make sure that we had the best low latency, hard real-time computing platform as the basis for our solutions. And so we added concurrent real-time to our team in 2021, basically allowing us to have a firm foundation for everything that we do. That's what we've done over the past 5 years to put us in a position really to be able to deliver on this zero prototype vision. Now, we integrated the first 3 companies into VI Grade, and so today we go to market with 3 brands. VI Grade for real-time simulation software and simulators, Imtech for mechatronics and automation solutions, and concurrent real-time for the real-time computing platform and hardware in the loop. And the heads of these three groups are here today. Next, after my talk, I'll introduce Guido Barati, heading up VI Grade, but Thomas Schultz is in the audience, heading up ImTech, and Ken Jackson's here in the front row, heading up concurrent real-time. So I hope you get a chance to talk with them, give them your suggestions, your feedback, your encouragement. They'll be happy to hear that. You also see other members of our virtual test management team. Diego Meenan is our CTO. Tony Spagnuolo is here as the business development person. And our financial guru, Will Lorcan, is here as well. I think we have one of our colleagues from the extended HBK team, Thomas Lippuk, in the audience. Where does that bring us today? A much more capable organization, 500 worldwide customers, over 80 million in annual revenue, 245 employees, but that's not the gist of it. The gist of it is we have the capabilities now that we needed to deliver on that gap that you told us about. And we feel very strongly that we have the basic pieces to be able to do that. And so we have a very clear vision as part of HBK Virtual Test. Our mission is to accelerate product innovation. And I want to invite Guido Barati, who's Managing Director of VI Grade, to come up and tell you more about it. So thank you again for joining us today.